Peace. Back again. Prince Ash. Rambling on. The video is probably going to cut off at like 12 minutes because I'm nearly out of fucking space on my phone. So we'll go till it runs out, I suppose. A wicked day today. It was a day where I just kept saying to myself, wow, that's amazing, and the connection and love I'm feeling is amazing, and the introspection is wonderful. The way I'm thinking, the way I'm seeing the world, the shit I get to see in this world, and the ways I get to think, and the program I get to practice is fucking amazing. And I was full of gratitude, and yeah, that's fucking goes a long way. I was at a psychosis event up in Dublin, and it was just about recovery from psychosis, and I have living experience of psychosis, and it brought up a lot of shit for me, and I know a lot of my audience here has living experience of psychosis and schizophrenia, so I won't back away from talking about it here, because there's people that can relate, and I'm in recovery. I get episodes once every couple of weeks now, and given the state I was in before, they're nowhere near as bad, but they're still a struggle, hearing voices and having panic attacks and shit like that. So yeah, it's difficult, but it's not gonna kill me. Yeah. And the majority of my darkest days in psychosis, I thought I was getting persecuted by the Gardaí, the police. Thought I was getting persecuted by my friends, peers, people of higher social class than me, or social status than me. I was living in a homeless hostel. I thought actually everyone in the hostel was fucking out to get me and fucking, persecuting me. And it was terrifying, and I've thought so much about, my psychosis, and tried to pick it apart and find meaning in it, and find metaphors in it all. And like someone said today, you can learn from your psychosis. There's nuggets of gold in there that you can learn from, and I definitely did. I had nuggets of gold in mine as well that I learned from and grew a little bit as a person, I suppose, as I usually do. Fucking growing forever, I suppose. I don't know, I'm a very empathetic person, and I think my conscience developed a lot, during my psychosis, when things kind of kicked off, really, where things got a little bit delusional at first, was during COVID, the start of COVID. That's when things got crazy for me, and that continued for 4 years. And I mean, I'm only last week saying, or 3 days ago actually, saying I don't need justice for that shit. I don't need any of what I had before back. I don't need a happy resolution to, or a fantastic resolution or a fantasy-like resolution to the way I crashed out of society, as it were, back in the day. I don't need anyone from that time back in my life anymore. I don't need to see anyone persecuted for what they did to me. I don't need justice. I've moved on. I'm cool with all of that. You live and learn. You forgive. And I'm not forgetting that shit, like, forgiving everyone, like, nearly everyone. And there's certain people who, like, my neighbours back in Salt Hill, my neighbour and his cousin fucking bullied me and fucking abused me, really, like, took advantage of me, took advantage of my addiction, took my pride, took money from me, took the good parts of my personality away from me. And obviously I can look at that now and think, well, if I wasn't doing drugs and kept going back to them for drugs because it was easy, it made things easy for me, none of that shit would have happened. And then I also have to think, well, like, did they really take my pride? Did they really take my laugh away from me, my personality? They bullied me and abused me, like, and took advantage of me. But maybe it is me blaming them for my own doing to myself. But, like, I know the way I feel about this shit to this day. I know the effect and impact they had on me. And I know I'm not the only one they did that shit to, like. And they're miserable bastards, like, simple as that, like, good for nothing, fucking miserable bastards. But yeah, I'm not blaming them anymore, and I don't need to go to them and stand up for myself and fucking say, this is how I feel, this is what you've done to me. Fuck them, let them off, man. Let them live their miserable lives. And like, all the shit I've been through since is just, it's not fair, like. But I'm getting on with it, like, and I'm putting my life back together, like. And as I said, that fantasy resolution I always fantasized about and wanted, it's not necessary. It'd be nice, maybe, but is it going to fix that hole in my soul and the spiritual malady and the unhappiness and the depression and the anxiety? No, that's shit I have to fix myself. I have to help myself fix that shit, and I am. And a day like today is where that spiritual light bulb above my head lights up. And I'm grateful today, like, for everything. And I don't think I'll have time to finish the story in this video, but I did want to go back to my psychosis because I remembered shit today that I hadn't thought of for a long time. But yeah, I'll go into it another time, actually, because I'm pretty sure this video is going to cut off any minute now. But anyway, discovering more about my personality and being more compassionate with myself. I spoke about that, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. Starting to love myself again, like, and better confidence and self-esteem. And maybe from the outside looking in, you might be able to see that because, you know, I'm a quiet person. I'm shy. I find like meeting people hard and coming out of my shell, like I find that difficult. But like in my own time, I'm learning to love myself and loving myself a bit more every day. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not looking back in anger. I'm looking back with love and compassion and care. And I'm looking back even broken record, old friends. I'm looking back and thinking that was great, and they're great, and fucking I'm reminiscing with peace and contentment and fulfillment, thinking of all the great times I had even in school. Like, if you were to take it back 6 months, I would have said, oh, school was shite, I hated it, hated every second there, I hated everyone in the school, I fucking don't even want to think about that time. And now I'm kind of looking back at times of devilment and stuff and being like, oh, that was fucking great, like, and having laughs with friends, and you know, just, I mean, memory in particular is just vaping at break time with my friends, and just bonding with my friends, having a vape. And the reason I thought of it is because, like, we were vaping before it was a thing. Like, everyone's vaping these days, but we were vaping back in like 2016, 17. Yeah. Around then is when I got addicted to weed, like, and yeah, there was good times at the start, but in the end it was giving me psychosis and panic attacks, and it was nasty. And I don't condone weed to anyone. I think it's the worst. It's one of the worst drugs out there. It's such a deceiver, and it'll fuck you up. So I wouldn't go near it, really. Wouldn't go near any drug or drink or gambling or whatever, but if you have to go out there and make those same mistakes I did, that's the way the universe will have it. But if you want to hear the truth from me now, don't go near that shit. It's fucking horrible, and it's so bad for you. And regular use will get problematic. It will get problematic for you. So that's what I have to say about that. Anyway, one time, what I did want to speak about, one time in my psychosis, when I was having visual and audio hallucinations, I thought that someone was going to stab me in the eye as revenge for me ripping him off in his eyes. I didn't do that, but that's anyway, he made up a reason and he was going to stab me in the eye. And that was fucking terrifying. Like, that was just such a soul-crushing time in my life. And like, that's just the extreme. That's the extreme of my psychosis. Like, and I walked out to a smoking area and I was like waiting for him to do that, but he never showed up because he wasn't real. But I thought he was real. And yeah, it's just, yeah, madness. And I could hear awful things, like I hallucinated awful things happening to my family, like them getting burned alive and committing suicide and being in tragic accidents and shit. And yeah, just to listen to that shit, like, is sad. Like, the memories I have of that, they make me sad, like. So yes, in psychosis, there's nuggets of gold you can learn from, develop as a person, but for the most part, it's awful and sad and scary, terrifying. And I believe I have a predisposition in my genes to psychosis and schizophrenia, and that's why I am how I am. And drugs and drink were a catalyst to my chronic episodes. So my message is, like, I didn't know I had a disposition. I took drugs and I knew this is what could happen. People said you might get psychosis. Oh, you could get schizophrenia. I was like, fuck you, smoking my joint. It's like, that shit won't happen to me. Fast forward all that shit that went on in my life and I get diagnosed with schizophrenia, and I said that would never happen. That's why I'm saying don't go near that shit, because it could happen. It's a possibility, it's a real one, and it's a common thing for people like me. So you just don't know. You say, not yet, that shit's not gonna happen to me. It happened to me every time. All the not yet's happened in my life, and here I am picking up the pieces and getting over this shit. Like, I had to learn the hard way, I suppose, so that's my message for today. Surprisingly, the video didn't cut off by now. Thank God. Full of gratitude today. Peace.